Everybody, welcome back to another edition of Ash's Fantasy Facts, week number 3. Welcome to the Fantasy Boardroom here at sports.ktar.com. Hopefully your first couple weeks have gone well for you. I tried to give you a couple tips last week. Donovan McNabb at the quarterback position, pretty good one. Kyle Orton, the sleeper of the week last week was Michael Vick, and I told you to stay away from that Nene guy in San Diego. He had 1 catch. So we're doing all right. Hopefully we can continue that here on Ash's Fantasy Facts. Let's not waste any time. Let's get to some of the matchups this week in the NFL, week number 3. We're going to start at the quarterback position. I like a guy this week that has been awful so far in the early NFL season, and that's quarterback Joe Flacco. He had 4 picks last week. I know. I got a good remedy coming to town. The Cleveland Browns. I think Flacco gets it going in week 3, so if you've been hesitant to put him back in your lineup, don't be. He'll be just fine. And I actually like the old man this week against Detroit. Look, Minnesota's not going 0-3. I think Brett Favre and the Vikings get it going. Detroit's been in a couple of shootouts this year so far. I think it happens again, and I look for Brett Favre to come up big for the Vikings. A quarterback I would tread lightly with in week number 3 is Jay Cutler. I know he's been awesome in the first couple weeks for the Chicago Bears. They're undefeated. They got the big matchup on primetime TV this week against Green Bay. I look for Cutler's numbers to come down a little bit. If he's your best option, go with him, but don't look for the big numbers to happen in 3 weeks in a row. Let's go to the running back position. I got a couple I like this week. Knowshon Moreno, again, has been pretty solid so far for the Denver Broncos. The Donkeys are taking on the Indianapolis Colts this week. Colts don't usually stop the run, so I'm going to go with Knowshon Moreno. And Arian Foster, I know he let us down a little bit. Everyone that got like 45 points from him in week 1, he let us down. What happened? He was still okay. He'll be better this week against Dallas. Remember, this is where it kind of started for Arian Foster in the preseason. He rushed for over 100 and a touchdown against the Dallas Cowboys. My tread lightlies at the running back position this week, I got 3 of them for you. One is Jahvid Best. I know, he went off last week, right? Catching the ball, running the football. I look for him to slow down at Minnesota this weekend. Minnesota's got a good defense. It's not Minnesota's D's fault that they haven't won a game yet. It's more on the offense. Play Jahvid Best, but beware that he might not have the big week like he did last week. Also, watch out for Ronnie Brown this week against the Jets. I wouldn't play him if he's one of your running backs. And really tread lightly with Jamaal Charles. There's talk of Thomas Jones being the #1 guy in Kansas City, so be careful with Jamaal Charles. At the wide receiver position, again, I told you I thought Joe Flacco would get it going. If he does, that means Anquan Boldin should have a good week this weekend against Cleveland. Randy Moss was my dud of the week last week. Now, he did have that beautiful one-handed catch against Darrelle Revis. Revis is now out for a couple weeks. Moss isn't. He's ready to go, and they got Buffalo coming to town. You know what that equals? Blowout City. Go with Randy Moss. He'll be big this week. And Jacoby Jones, wide receiver for Houston. Look, I think the Houston Texans and the Cowboys could get in a little bit of a shootout. You can't throw it to Andre Johnson every time. Schaub threw it for almost 500 last week. Go with Jacoby Jones. And my tread lightly at the wide receiver position is right here in Arizona with the Arizona Cardinals, Larry Fitzgerald. Until DA, Derek Anderson, proves to me that he can be a consistent quarterback, I don't know if I'm going with Larry Fitzgerald. Let's go to my sleeper of the week. I feel like we should have some sound effects going. Sleeper of the week is Matt Hasselbeck, quarterback for the Seattle Seahawks. They're taking on the Chargers, and you know what? Chargers seem to get themselves in some shootouts every once in a while. Hasselbeck's been okay. They got thumped in week 2. I look for them to be back at home. They're tough in the Pacific Northwest. Hasselbeck, if you need a quarterback, you don't like your matchup with your quarterback, pick up Hasselbeck, or if you have him on your bench, you might want to start him this week. And my dud of the week, now I don't know if this guy will be a complete dud, but the Arizona Cardinals have had a hard time stopping the run, right? Right. Darren McFadden's been pretty good early on, right? Right. I think his numbers go down this week. I think Arizona will be so focused on stopping the run and stopping Darren McFadden, they will. Now, I don't know if they beat the Oakland Raiders at home, but I like the Cardinals finally back at home, and I don't think McFadden goes for over 100 and a touch or 2. I think he gets held for under that. Now, again, how big of a dud is that? I don't know. If you got McFadden, probably want to start him, but again, tread lightly with that. That's my dud of the week. That's Ash's Fantasy Facts for week number 3. I hope you're doing well so far. I hope some of this is helping you out. Don't forget, you can always reach me, ash@ktar.com. That's the email. You can follow me on Facebook, Mark Asher, or on Twitter, Ash620. Either way, your comments, your concerns if I screw up, your questions for fantasy football, send them my way. Even if it's right before game time, I'll try to get back to you and help you out the best I can. I hope you're enjoying it, and I hope you do well in week number 3. Don't forget to get your lineups in, and good luck this week.
I got a feeling